Remember a time when the internet wasn't a cesspool? When Nickelback was not the lazy comedian's punchline? When The Last Jedi or Ghostbusters didn't ruin anyone's childhood? We do. Nickelbackin' is a monthly podcast hosted by three longtime friends who really just need an excuse to shoot the shit. But in the meantime, they'll call out some internet hyperbole bullshit while they're at it. Do you secretly enjoy the smooth taste of Dunkin' Donuts coffee? Maybe you're a fan of the work of Jim Carrey. Hell, maybe you even like Nickelback. We don't, but we're in their corner, and by default, we're in your corner too. Listen to Nickelbackin' on the Zero Science Network, wherever you download podcasts.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Jukebox Zero, the place where your idols come to die. I'm Lels.
And this is Patrick coming at you from down in the Carolina, the southern one.
Down in the inky depths of our continent.
Yes, the continental continent. And as far as I know, the Carolinas haven't joined into one yet. You know, there's still only, there's two of them. Like, we haven't become Big Chungus
Is that a
Carolina
possibility?
Yet. I mean,
is that something they're putting on the table at town hall meetings or whatever?
It is now, since I moved down here. I'm presenting a referendum of sorts that we become one gigantic Carolina, and then from there, the world.
Pat, be honest right now. This whole moving to North Carolina thing. Did you just do it to be a friggin' Joker chaos boy, make the Carolinas into one Carolina because it'd be funny?
Yes.
Is this your Borat?
It's one of them. It's one of them. I have several Borat
or Pat
scenarios. Or Pat, if you will. Or Pat.
My wife that I married.
Yes, except I actually do have a wife, so that joke isn't that funny. It's just like my wife just goes, haha, good one. That movie came out in 2006, Pat. Good one.
Yeah, just go to Cookout.
Go to Cookout. Pick me up a corn dog or two.
Oh boy. We have a guest today, as we
do.
often do because we're normal now.
Yeah, we keep the guests coming.
Oh yeah, excuse us if this recording is a little bit awkward. Like, we took the entirety of March off, so we're just coming back into things right now.
Yeah, my brain's full of shamrock shakes.
I'm learning how to talk to people again.
Ooh, yeah, that's always fun. After not doing that for a while, that's always interesting.
I haven't spoken for 30 days straight. Just coming off of like a protest.
Oh yeah.
No, I entirely lack the discipline for something like that. But
one of those what's it, vow of silence, if you will.
Yeah, I will not speak. It will change the world.
Anyway, this is Mario Boiardi, like Chef Boiardi. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, sure
Mario
is.
Boiardi is here from the band Dennis and Horse Hands. Were you in Horse Hands?
Still am, yeah.
Nice.
Horse hands.
Horse hands, yeah.
Hands of horses. I love it.
There's like 3 or 4 different, at least, ways that you can apply horse hands conceptually.
Yeah, we got Mario Boiardi from the band Dennis, Horse Hands, and that one time I did a Susie and the Banshees cover set at Uncharted.
That was sweet.
You were in that too?
This was a different one. I didn't realize at that point I would end up joining a different Susie and the Banshees cover band.
And remind me again, Mark.
How many times have you done that now?
Just the one other time so far.
Yeah, you did it.
One more and it goes on the resume.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to make a whole new section for 80s post-punk.
Yeah, you need to do it at least 3 times.
People check that on the resume
for them to trust your abilities.
Hey, Pat.
Discipline.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah. Hey, Los.
What are we doing?
We're doing a program on the music that we think is stinky. Right.
Music
is get together.
Music is kind of a very loose definition of the term in this case.
Well, like, vain attempts at like music, I guess. Vague attempts at creating squiggly lines that eventually coalesce together into something that could be packaged.
Yeah, putting squiggly lines and dots on grids.
Yeah.
Have I just basically ruined all of music? Is that by just putting it down to its most primal form?
It's just like, like something that registers on a Richter scale type map, like, oh, cool. Look at it go up and down.
No, very big deal. You know how to put dots on grids. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Grids aren't even that cool.
You're so fucking big just because you've got a roof.
Oh, you think you're better than me? Because you got a roof?
So the album we've listened to this time around has thoroughly destroyed our coherent thought. Is that safe to say?
Oh, clearly. That's what's going on here, by the way. If you're just tuning in, if this is your very first Jukebox Zeros episode at number 80 for some reason, and you're just tuning in,
great choice, by the way.
Great timing. I'm sure there's a reason why you picked this one. I'm sure there are plenty of other bad music review podcasts that have covered this one, but if you've chosen ours and today's the day, I want you to know that we're not normally like this. We're usually very normal. We're usually very coherent. We don't do like silly voices or anything. We kind of just we're usually very cogent and eloquent in our thoughts.
No, we've never once done silly voices, Pat.
Never.
We just have a strange cast. We just have a strange cast of characters that pops in every so often because one of us leaves the door open. That's
really our biggest issue. If you're going to leave a bad review, say that these guys don't leave the door locked. They leave it open before their podcast.
What was that negative review we got a while ago that you showed me on the Slack chat?
So we got a new bad review on our iTunes, which so far they've all been pretty good, but this one bonked us down a point, I think. And I'm just going to pull it up now. It had something to do with like waiting for the bus.
Yeah, waiting for the bus on a hot day or something like that.
I was waiting for a bus. Okay, so the title, I guess, of the review is Utterly Dull, and this was on February 22nd, 2022 by MV77. And the review reads as follows: waiting for a bus in the sweltering heat was more entertaining.
Wow.
Did you
My favorite part about that review is how it doesn't give any indication that they actually listen to this and could just interchange that for literally any other podcast.
Yeah, like there's no like specific criticism. Just I don't know. I think like the part that also kind of blew my mind was like, where is this person writing from? Where it's sweltering right now. Like it was the dead of winter in February.
Yeah, it was February. I mean, or were they holding on to it for a really long time, like trying to refine it into something it's both vague and cutting at the same time?
Yeah, it took him several months to reach utterly. just painstakingly sifting through his thesaurus.
I know it's in there.
Yeah, I mean, what could have been better than utterly though? That's really the word to use.
Not to keep distracting from like the main point of this podcast, but like one of the best memes I discovered a while ago, someone made a post on Twitter, I forget who, but they said like, "Dear Santa Claus, you didn't get me the thesaurus I wanted for Christmas, and I'm mad. I'm very mad. I'm so mad."
Oh, that's pretty good.
It appeals to a niche audience, but
yeah, it's definitely a very niche joke. You know what else is a niche joke, though? The apology section.
I am sorry.
I feel like we've already kind of apologized at the top of the program for how blitheringly stupid we sound today.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. What
No,
was the last episode? It was the Batman Forever.
yeah, that was Batman
soundtrack.
Forever soundtrack.
Trying to remember if I made any grievous errors or dumb comments on that one. Probably, and I'm sorry if I did.
Yeah, me too. I apologize. That's the one. I apologize for that one.
A nice blanket apology for anything untrue, felonious, or just like outright offensive we might have said. Although, we usually like to keep it clean for the babies who tune in.
Oh yeah. We have an enormous baby audience.
We sure do.
I think.
Still getting that demographic. It's strange, but that's where the money is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Those babies have tons of money.
Have you seen babies? Have you seen babies these days? They have like Boss Baby. Boss Baby's got tons of money. For instance, in the Baby Geniuses, they got a genius grant, and now they're all very doing very well.
Boss Baby
doing
has a custom
research.
tailor.
Oh yeah, it's a custom tailor.
He has to get those perfectly tailored suits.
Yeah.
That's not off the rack suits for a baby.
They don't just make those tiny suits at big and tall.
You got Andrew, what is his name? Adam Newman, the former CEO of WeWork. He's a baby. Just an older one.
Yeah, they come in all sizes.
The 40-year-old baby.
Mark Zuckerberg, a giant tall baby.
Oh yeah, he's like an alien baby.
If I had known that we were here to forgive Mark Zuckerberg.
for all his discretions and misgivings.
Yeah, mostly the barbecue sauce. This is a Sweet Baby Ray's obsession. He puts it on his saltines.
Why do I know that about him? Why do I have to have that as a fact that stays in my brain?
I think it's all that part of his plan. He puts it out there.
His barbecue sauce plan?
Yeah. The world domination barbecue. Yeah. All interchangeable.
So, what can possibly be said about martial artist and actor Steven Seagal? He's a habitual liar. He acts in incredibly mediocre films, and everyone's pretty sure that his career has been entirely bankrolled by the mafia. And that's it. Those are some things you can say about Steven Seagal.
I didn't actually know the mafia thing. Is that something you've read?
That's something that we've been ever since we decided to do this episode. We're doing songs from the Crystal Cave, by the way.
Yes,
Steven Seagal's Ill-Gotten album from 2005. But Pat and I have both been we've both been kind of reading up on Steven Seagal, by which I mean we listened to episodes of The Dollop and Behind the Bastards.
Yeah. I didn't get to listen to the Behind the Bastards, but I saw that. And unfortunately, I only listened to part 1 of The Dollop because part 2 isn't out yet.
That's the only one that's out yet.
Yeah, part 2 is all the bad stuff that he does, which I had to go ahead and read on his Wikipedia instead. Oh, baby.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Oh, and don't get me wrong. He has done some shit. Some terrible, terrible scumbaggy shit.
I think my favorite thing was when he somehow managed to force himself on an actual police force, and town resources had to be spent shuffling him around so he could pretend to be a cop or a sheriff or something.
Oh God, are you talking about his deputy reality show, Steven Seagal Deputy or whatever?
Yeah, action cop.
Steven Seagal Lawman.
That's it.
Oh, there we go.
Why am I just learning about this now? Oh my God, he's in a fucking cop's uniform. This is so funny.
It's is it art though? That's that's what I always have to ask myself when I see these things. Like,
This
it's
show-
so bad.
This show ran
yeah.
from 2009 to 2014. That's an incredibly patient, like, people that would tolerate, allowing Steven Seagal to engage in that sort of make pretend time like that.
So I think one of the things is about him is that a lot of people are way too willing to give him a chance, and I don't know if that's just because of his size or for what. He's a big dude. I don't know, but everyone seems willing to be like, well, let's see what this guy has to say / do.
Do you think he goes around just kind of roughing up Hollywood executives? And they're like, "Oh, Mr. Seagal, we're so sorry. We'll give you another movie."
Well, I mean, that sort of ties into the whole sort of allegation that his entire career was largely bankrolled by the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just somehow never heard that, and I mean, it answers so many questions.
He did
Also,
break
there's
Connery's wrist one time.
Yeah. There was also that one time he was a dog for a couple of years.
That was so good. So that was on the dollop. So like he had basically, when he was first starting martial arts, he went out to Japan. I don't know, when he was like 20 or something like that. And like they were like, we don't have room for a student, but we have room for a dog. And he like interpreted that as like some kind of Zen koan and just started getting on all fours and stuff. No,
Oh.
and that was enough, apparently.
Some act of extreme penance that he has to perform. Like, if you let me show you debased as I am, you'll accept me as a student.
Yeah, you didn't have to poop on the. I kind of wish you didn't poop outside in the garden, but
Stevenson, did you have to poop in the garden?
Yeah, this is a friggin' monastery. We put a lot of effort into tending the sands and all that sort of stuff, and that's kind of not okay, like, at all.
Did I have to poop in the garden?
I can't
What a
understand you.
riddle.
Woof, woof, woof. I'm a dog. I don't speak English.
Give me kibble. I'm hungry. Throw a carrot in my mouth. I need oral stimulation.
Also,
Dad, he loves his carrots too. If you've seen that meme.
Oh yes. Oh man, that's right. That was our image for coming up. Our teaser for Beatbox Zeros was the carrot.
That's the nice thing about doing an album by Steven Seagal. Like, I mean, you kind of feel sorry for Corey Feldman in a lot of ways, but we don't have those kind of predilections for Steven Seagal. We have, I feel like, no problem just sort of going to town on who's really just a colossal scumbag.
Yeah, like, he's just, there's no reason to or desire to apologize for anything that Steven Seagal has been involved in. You're just like, I try just to pretend that he doesn't exist, but yet here he is.
He somehow keeps finding ways to pop up.
Yeah, he's pretty reprehensible in a lot of ways. But maybe we should dive into the tunes and see how reprehensible or not it gets.
Such as one can dive into 2005's songs from the Crystal Cave, the style of which, according to Wikipedia, can be described as outsider country meets world music meets Aikido. Because everything has to tie back into Aikido for him.
Oh yeah. No, we're going to enter the dojo and really get into really see what makes Seagal tick.
I mean,
oh yes,
just make sure you bow when you enter.
Oh yes, or he'll throw you into a fountain or something like that. I didn't watch that clip. Is that what happened in the Jack Whitehall thing or whatever it was?
Oh no! Is this one of his great many assaults?
Well, like, didn't they, like, there was like some comedic reality show going on in Britain where they just like visited his dojo and the host was just being a huge snark about it, as one does in the presence of Steven Seagal. And I guess he like Steven Seagal didn't like it, so he just like threw him into a fountain or something.
Oh,
I don't know if I heard that one, but
so many things today.
I don't know. Something happened.
There's been like varying accounts and stories as to like what he threw,
Where
and like how long, like the distance that he threw the person, because like it could be 5 feet, it could have been 25 feet. He might have just like defecated himself straight up.
It's a question really of like what power level is being displayed today, because when you're in a presence of someone like this, you have to stay on your toes a little bit.
Oh yeah, well, see, the defecating himself thing is actually a power play. I've seen male hippos do it. They sort of mark their territory in a circle. But before we get too deep into the weeds, why don't we check out the first track off of Steven Seagal's Crystal Castles? What's it called? Songs from the Crystal Cave.
That's right. We're wasting no time getting into this, I think, because we want to get it over with more than anything. But
there's a lot of stuff to weed through.
This album has 14 tracks. That's too many tracks for something like this.
And it's an hour.
Yeah. See, there's no way Steven Seagal has that many things to say. He can't possibly have that many blues.
He does. He has 14 kinds of blues.
like at least an hour's worth. 14
different shades of blue. I got 14 of my blues right here. This one's like a periwinkle. This one's indigo. This is the Steven Seagal impression that I'm going to be doing for the majority of the episode. By the way.
Oh yeah, sounds
every bit as well crafted as the Corey Feldman impression. I'm sure.
It kind of sounds similar.
I'm just kidding. Of course, no, they're totally different. They're totally different. Steven Seagal, I'm doing is like this, and Corey Feldman is like this.
Oh, now I hear it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Of course, Corey Feldman's a real person in our extended canon.
Yeah, we're not doing the voice. He actually comes and provides it on his own.
He's one of the people.
Not in a really long time though, since he got money from that one Billboard hit that landed on the adult contempo charts.
Yeah, good for him.
Corey Feldman's recent tour actually played at a small whiskey.
Oh, he toured? He toured recently? He defied COVID?
Well, I should say within the last 5 years. It's not one of those things that I'm like, oh yeah, February 14th, 21, COVID.
Wait, are you talking about the same show that John Sassler was at, the one in Haverhill?
Yeah, I sure am.
Oh man, that was on my birthday in 2017, and I was going to go, but something ended up happening. I had an emergency, but that was July 12th, 2017, I think.
I actually can't believe it was that long ago. It was right down the street from where I worked at the time, and it was quite the to-do in town. That they were being graced by such a celebrity.
Wow. Were you at that show?
Oh, of course not.
I'm not a loser.
I do hit follow now.
While I play this first track off the Steven Seagal album, I'm going to look up on setlist.fm real quick to see if Steven Seagal has ever played out live anywhere.
Oh, good.
Here's track number 1 off of Songs from the Crystal Cave. Track 1, Girl, It's All Right.
Would it make you feel something so real, like you could speak your own mind and whisper your wildest dreams? Well, girl, it's all right by me.
Before we get into the track, I can confirm, yes, Steven Seagal does play out, apparently.
How recent?
His earliest concert date is Steven Seagal at Michael Jackson and Friends Seoul, performing at Olympic Stadium in Seoul, South Korea.
Oh.
His most recent one, 2014, Steven Seagal at Festival Cognac Blues Passions in Cognac, France.
Wow.
Man gets around.
Oh, no, wait. My mistake. That's actually page 2. Most recent is actually 2015 at the Haydar Aliyev Center in Baku, Azerbaijan. Yeah, you may not be surprised to know that there are a lot of tour dates in Slavic countries here since he's such a big Russia fan.
Yeah, he's part Russian. Oh, see, now I'm confused. I thought that you just played Chris Gaines. I thought that was the Chris Gaines album that you just played for us.
No, the Chris Gaines album has so little identity of its own. This also doesn't, but
It stinks in its own way.
Yeah.
it's interesting that you say Chris Gaines, because this song in particular, the first thing I thought was just sadder Jack Johnson.
Yeah, my
Jack
initial thought was, this song had been passed around by like the Counting Crows and then Jack Johnson, and like ultimately ended up in the hands of a karate master.
Jack Johnson, but he's much sadder, not having a fun time, no chill this time around.
He's not in Hawaii. He's in, like, I don't know, Norwood, Massachusetts.
Coming at you from Canton.
Tropical paradise. That is Norwood, Massachusetts.
Ah, yes. Feel the breeze under the banyan trees. No, none of that, actually.
How do we feel about this song, apart from what we already said?
Well, I guess I'll go first.
It's certainly not good.
No, it's not. I mean, it's competent. And like my first impression was he's not. I mean, he's a passable singer. But I mean, but everything happening is so bland, and because I think at this point this is still a collaboration. This isn't a like complete Steven Seagal show yet. I think that doesn't come until later on in the album. So there might have been some help with the lyrics. Not that they're great, but they're not. At the same time, they don't stick out. This is like fairly bland, vanilla. Like if you didn't tell me this was Steven Seagal, like I wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah, that's why I think it was like originally somebody else's song, and somehow he just got he got the rights to it eventually, like after it had been passed by all the other late 90s safe rock and roll bands.
Yeah, so
here you go.
According to Wikipedia, this song was co-written by one Greg Barnhill, who is like a professional songwriter who's mostly written just lots of random country songs and songs for Amy Grant.
Yeah, he did stuff for like Lone Star, Amy Grant, and
Vince
like a few
Gill,
other,
I think.
A few other like Nashville also rans. That's kind of his department, though. It's like Nashville songwriter.
I mean, that's certainly what it appears to be, and like it doesn't really seem to divest from that much during the album. No, apart from a few certain examples.
So my takeaway kind of overall was the songs with Barnhill as the co-writer tended to be the least insane. If that makes any sense. Like they seem to be the most competent numbers,
the most grounded that this possibly could be.
Yeah, and they're
in the room that was willing to say no from time to time. Like not this time, Steven. And
but we'll save that for track 13 or 12 or something. But we need to lead off with some sensible numbers.
Oh boy. You strap in, by the way, for some of the future tracks, because Steve really wants to show you how incredibly woke he is.
Yeah. Yeah. His views.
And by woke, I mean the, bullshit aughts concept of what woke stands for.
Oh yeah.
It's like the kind of thing that ends up on a CD in like Barnes and Noble, like one of the 6 that they put on an ends cap.
Oh yes.
Yeah. When I used to be the program director for my college radio station, there was a record company that would very frequently send us stuff called Powder House. It's like a local record company. I think it might operate out of Medford, because Powder House, that's like a Medford location, as I understand it.
It is, yeah. Powder House Square. Yeah.
Yeah. But like everything we ever got from them, we basically just got compilation after compilation of just incredibly bland, also ran, not quite Jack Johnson, not quite Gavin DeGraw, not quite this level sort of stuff. And I immediately flash back to that, like just songs that some middle manager somewhere with a song in his heart just pulled out the 6 string and just, wore his heart on his sleeve.
He got his Squire starter pack at Guitar Center and, just let the world know what he felt.
He so badly wanted to do a Jackson Browne this weekend.
There's a guy who it's so funny. There was a guy who was like around the same time as Jack Johnson, who sounded just like him, but was just like a click even more vanilla. And I wish I could remember his name, but I always heard his songs on the radio at fucking like Whole Foods or whatever. I cannot remember the dude's name. It's not David Gray. It was something like that, but around the same time. I'm gonna have to do some thinking. This might require some research offline.
While you're dwelling on that, how about I play track number 2?
Damien Rice?
Not Damien Rice, but
that's a very good guess, though. I feel like
it was like jumping around in the back of my head, and and it pops out, and again, things that I wish I didn't know.
I'm just gonna plug in 2000s adult alternative artists.
While you're doing that, here's track number 2, another Seagal Barnhill joint. Don't You Cry. I feel like the nicest thing that I can say about Steven Seagal's singing voice is that, yes, it sounds like he is capable of some form of singing.
I was honestly surprised, if I have to be completely honest. I was like, you know what? He's okay at singing.
Again,
don't get ahead of yourself.
At best.
Again, this is another Barnhill track, so I think we're leading off with 2 deceptively sensible songs here. It's like, all right, like we gotta get people to, your real views on things, Steven, for
deceptively sensible songs that sound like they were sung by Sleepy Bono.
Yeah.
See, I'm surprised though, because you cut out right before he threatens us and says that he'll never die, and then he repeats himself, and so it's like we'll be here forever, but then he ends it with "I'll never die." And
that's true. That's true. This is the track where he reveals his dark, deadly secret that he's a Highlander.
Stay away from that painting in the attic.
They were stuck with this asshole forever. Jesus Christ.
I'll never die. I'll be here forever. Don't you cry.
Is he is he a father consoling a young child, who's woken from a nightmare?
I'm actually reading the lyrics on Genius. In every blade of grass, in every life and everything, just look for me. So not only is he invincible, but he legitimately thinks he's Buddha.
I mean, so he transcends the physical realm, and this is just one of his many stages of life.
I'm not just Steven Seagal. Everything is Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal is everything. I am one with everything. I don't know.
Come, partake of my blues, children, sung by a man who sounds like he's hiding some ham underneath his tongue and doesn't want to share.
Come, suckle from my katana.
Come, taste of my eggs, children.
Steven Seagal eggs. Ew.
I imagine he doesn't cook eggs. He probably has somebody who prepares them for him every morning now.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't. He probably doesn't even eat eggs because he's a big animal rights activist, I'm sure. He got a humanitarian award from PETA.
From PETA?
Oh.
PETA who?
That.
Peter Griffin. Like from American Dad. What's next? What's next on this blockbuster album?
Our first post Barnhill joint from Steven Seagal and Patrick George Barrett. Here's Music.
If you sang with me, we can fill the world with harmony. If you dance with me, we can create a better place to be. Talk with me, feel me musically. You gotta let the music be the remedy. If you sing with me, we can change the world with a melody.
Get used to those backing singers, by the way, because this album is saturated with people who sound a lot better than Steven Seagal.
So
it was one of the more interesting things about this to me. It was like, where did they all come from? All these backing musicians and the singers, which, I mean, he uses liberally throughout.
I mean, they're probably all session people just looking for work. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they're just trying to live their life. Wow. Okay, they are just trying to live their life. This is Tony Rebel is this guy's stage name. I'm just figuring out. Patrick George Anthony Barrett.
Ah, yes, the rap breakdown, the first of many rap breakdowns.
He provides a rap of sorts. This guy's name is dangerously close to mine, Patrick Barrett.
Oh yeah, a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, again, this is like, pretty lame bar band, like throw your hands in the air as if you do not care.
I'm sure he believes that I'm sure he believes that he's saying something really deep and just a really original thought with music can change the world, as if no one has ever said that before.
The sense that I got throughout this entire album is that he's just convincing himself through the whole time that he's finally done it. I've made the phrase that's going to solve all the problems that the world has,
If only
that's Steven Seagal to me. It's Steven Seagal going, "You've given me so much, world. Now here's me giving it back to you."
So I think
here it is, my gift to you, the people of the world.
It's funny because one of the reviews I think 2 reviews I was able to find on this was that the themes of Buddhism were detected throughout lyrically. And I think this is the song that they first get that idea when they're listening to this album. It was like, oh, hey, this is.
You don't think it was the previous track where he said he's everything, including the grass?
No, I still interpret that one as a threat. That's the I feel like that's like his soccer song. Yeah, there's, if you listen, I mean, there's a few areas throughout here where he's vaguely threatening.
I mean,
there's gut eyes everywhere, man.
I mean, he has been hit with a lot of sexual harassment lawsuits over his career.
Oh yeah, a lot. Lot.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he specifically chose all these, beautiful sounding female backing singers just so live shows you could just be like, tell them girls.
And not even it wasn't even just a bunch in the 90s and then nothing. It's been continuing. I think as recently as 2020.
Oh wow.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different sections under allegations and lawsuits on Steven Seagal's Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Some of them are just, stuntmen alleging that he abused them on set, hit them a whole bunch. And then there's some weird legal stuff that he did too, because he's fucking
He pooped
insane.
on my pants after I choked him.
Yeah.
When he said
inside my pants.
When he said he was immune to choking.
Yeah, that's right. That was a good one.
Is that true? That
allegedly.
Oh, yes.
Fair. Of course, allegedly.
Yeah. On the set of Out for Justice, as I understand it.
He done pooed himself.
Additionally, while serving as a stunt coordinator for Out for Justice, Gene LaBelle, a stunt guy who's been working for a very long time, allegedly got into an on-set altercation with Seagal over his mistreatment over some of the film's stunt performers. After, as the actor claimed, due to his Aikido training, he was immune to being choked unconscious, LaBelle offered Seagal the opportunity to prove it. LaBelle is said to have placed his arms around Seagal's neck, and once Seagal said go, proceeded to choke him unconscious, with Seagal losing control of his bowels.
Oh my god!
The source for that is an interview with Jean LaBelle from mixedmartialarts.com.
That's amazing. Like I always try to imagine what it's like just being one of the like people in the background in the room while something like this is going on. Like the weirdness of the sounds that you hear in an event like this. And just like, then there'd just be this awful silence where everybody kind of stands around like, what do we do at this moment? Like, does somebody call a doctor?
Don't you stop. Don't you stop. I'm still immune. Oh, God. Steven, are you pooping? No.
Oh, God, it smells.
I'm expelling toxins. And
oh, yeah. I'm just releasing.
This is an ancient Aikido technique.
I'm transferring your energy.
I'm the first white person to have a dojo,
This is what dogs do. So
quick, movie over to the paper.
Oh my god!
One more thought about the song music. By the way, I think it just like it's silly and kind of like naive that like a person who normally works in film is making an album and has a song called Music. Like just the idea that like, oh, it's about the power of music. Like, am I going to make a movie as someone who like never made a movie before?
Guys, everyone likes music, so if I name the song Music, everyone will know the music is on this album right here.
I make a film about making a film, and everyone will know that movies
sells
are great.
Itself. It's the perfect marketing technique.
My first like note, because I tried to like be, disciplined and take notes on the songs and actually, try to treat this like it was real.
Disciplined like Steven Seagal himself, you might say.
Yeah, 15 years of Aikido training. But I had written, "You are locked in a room with a Fortune 500 CEO. He reaches for $1,000 guitar." It was a 2-sentence horror story.
Well, as long as we're trapped in here. No.
Don't do it.
I have some ideas.
Oh, what do you think about this little ditty? No.
All right, how about this?
Isn't that a Twilight Zone episode?
It should be. Get Jordan Peele on the horn, see if that can make the cut.
All right, no, hold on, guys.
Season 6.
Hold on.
Oh, you all right there, Pat?
Oh, let me just get my guitar here. Look, I will sound for you.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, no. It's coming true like it's some David Lynch movie.
Oh, God. Were we the Twilight Zone the whole time?
Obviously.
Are we in the computer?
Moving on from that. Here's track number 4, going back to the Barnhill Well. Better Man, not a cover of the Pearl Jam song.
I know, girl, that you can do better, and it's out of my hands. So go on, girl, find you a better man. Yeah, better man.
So go on, girl, find you a better man, one that doesn't have so many impending sexual harassment lawsuits.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Go find
someone. Are you kidding me?
A monster. Somebody who is an absolute fucking monster. Good luck.
That totally changes the framing of the note that I wrote on the song. And then, I feel bad about it now. Because, what I had written was, I hope that at least the sex was better than that guitar solo. But now the context is much clearer.
It most certainly was not as good as the guitar
I'm sure that's what he thought. In all of his endless Aikido wisdom and discipline. You're absolutely right about the lead guitar on this record, because maybe you guys can speak to it better than I can, since you're both stringed instrument players of a sort. But the one thing that struck me about, which by the way, Steven Seagal, the only lead guitar player on this, according to personnel, is this like the most basic ass middle school grade, like guitar soloing sort of tricks? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
just like, am I wrong in thinking that? Because it just felt like a lot of like, you know, like your dad learning guitar, like, look what I can do.
Yeah, like he has the one technique, which is like this really, really fast, just like noodling on 2 or 3 notes, you know, and he does it over and over again. And
that's
so
a
there's
trill.
this thing about like,
Yeah, a hammer-on,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah, like let me just do hammer-ons for 4 measures straight. But it's like he has his Guitar Center riff, you know, like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I'm going to Guitar Center, I'm going to buy a guitar, I better have my riff ready so everybody can see how cool I am.
I was
And like, this is his thing.
Said, look what I can do.
the Andy Partridge, the guitarist, lead singer of the band XTC. I remember like watching a video where he was like, you know, just showing off some guitar stuff or whatever, or like a class or something. But he was talking about the concept of Ernieing on the guitar, like so.
What's that?
Like, and that's just like Ernie doing that with mood on guitar. He calls it Ernieing. It's like, it's just perfect. And I was trying to notice if I didn't notice any instances of Ernieing on this album, but I'm sure there's some there. I definitely heard the trill though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He fancies himself a bluesman for sure.
That literally doesn't take any musical skill. It's just, you just need to have a fast finger, which I'm sure he does if he's like Mr. Martial Arts. I'm sure he has some fast hands, but like,
I mean, he can punch through a pine board, you know, with only a little difficulty.
like he has a story about like tremoloing too hard and like busting through the neck of the guitar with his finger.
Oh no, not another one.
Not enough. My $50,000 Strat. Go get me a new one. So
I can't believe
you broke the ball. You broke
Oh my
all the
god,
struts
I
in the
can't
world.
believe I did that again. I'm so angry I could poop on the floor. Are you saying that because you were going to poop on the floor anyway, Steven? Maybe.
Greg, come here. Yes. Greg Barthill. Yeah, yes, that's me, your songwriting partner. I've been having a little trouble pooping this week. Could you choke me out? Or I mean, I'm immune to choking, but like try to choke me.
I've got to put down my defensives for 5 minutes.
Do not waste
I'm not gonna help
Do
you
not
with
waste those 5 minutes, Greg Barnhill.
I've given to you a great power.
I'm making myself incredibly vulnerable, but only for a moment.
Only you
do
can
that to
release
me,
the demons from my body. Only you can help
It's an
me
ancient
achieve
ritual.
salvation.
I've come this far alone, but for this final step, I need 2.
Jesus. Ooh, this is an awful poopy episode.
It seems
I mean,
fixated.
It was bound to happen eventually. I feel like we've been very light on bathroom humor, and so I feel like that was all just going to happen in one entire episode at some point.
I mean, what better place to do it? So this is like, again, one of the more competent tracks on the album. It's not, I mean, it's, you know, mid 2000s adult contemporary, but like it's passable. Again,
Competent. That's the word we keep on going back to, I feel like.
Because there's instances of incompetence all over the rest of this album. So
This is where it really takes a turn.
well, this is
Like,
where we get to
this
the
song
real Steven Seagal part of the album. It's the next track.
Yeah, you'll be able to pinpoint at what point Steven Seagal decides, like, I don't need these songwriters. I could change the world on my own. They just need to hear my message. Like the message in... Oh, sorry.
I said, like, you know, he's Atlas at this point. You know, now he has to bear the weight of the entire planet himself. That's why he made 23.
That is my cross to bear, world. I'm
Steven
doing
Seagal
this for you. Here's track number 5, Route 23.
We were told I was up Route 23. Black love got from the coal mines, cancer from the steel. Stole my daddy's life away, don't you know?
What?
Oh no.
I was both. I was impressed, I will say, at his ability to hit that note there, that high note that he just sang, but like impressed and
Oh boy, that's the only time you're getting that out of me. I gotta sit down. Oh.
well,
Got to take a knee. Ooh. Daddy needs a taco.
he did 8 push-ups in preparation for that.
I needed to make myself incredible. I needed to take myself to a very vulnerable place for one moment. Thank goodness no one jumped me.
So I'm curious, you're looking up who else had to go down with this and record alongside him. My theory was that this was recorded with like a band in a box, like E minor blues preloaded band track, like you pick guitar, the rest of the band will play for you. It's a band in a box.
He just Microsoft Songsmith this.
It's like there's multiple instruments, but not a single one of them sounds like somebody human is playing it.
Do you guys remember Microsoft Songsmith?
Oh yeah.
It was like this very weird, for those who don't know, it was like this very weird sort of program that Microsoft had at one point where there was like some algorithm or something where it would determine what kind of backing track best fit with like bare vocals.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very strange. Very strange and like specific technology.
Yeah, based on what you said, I get those kind of vibes a little bit. Like Steven Seagal just caterwauled into the microphone with no backing. They're just like, okay, let's roll the dice and see what Microsoft Songsmith picks.
Yeah, pick a key, pick a tempo. I'll do the rest.
Come on, salsa.
Oh yeah. So Steven Seagal is credited with he does vocals, rhythm, and lead guitar, but also he's credited with doing drums, percussion, and clay pot. So that very well could be him. I don't know if the clay pot is featured on that song, but it's somewhere.
No, he just preloaded this, blues track, and then he put his name on everything because he's like, well, I had to listen to it. Sure, it sounded good.
That's what the preset is called, clay pot.
Oh, I get it. That's the guy. Yeah.
I'm reading the lyrics here on Genius, and this is rough. My, found in a shoebox. My daddy people came from far away. Mama lived on the porch of the rich folks. My daddy had to work to pay.
Dude, like...
He's from Lansing, Michigan. That's not even a joke.
I mean, when I was listening to it, like this one was one where I couldn't quite make out the lyrics, and I guess it's because like some sort of self-defense mechanism was getting activated in my brain that was like, you're not going to listen to him say these things, but then you just read them to me, and
yeah, keep that in mind. This is the first track on here with Steven Seagal, like with no guest songwriters. This is Steven Seagal untethered
in the raw. So yeah, he like you said, he was born in Lansing, Michigan, and like had a pretty middle class upbringing. Like one of the things that I kind of found surprising was both of his parents were employed, which was like in the 50s, kind of not very common. So there were two sources of income coming into that house. So I'm sure he was doing just fine. His grandparents, however, are Russian immigrants. So I don't know if he was maybe singing about his dad, but or I don't know. I'm not going to give Steven Seagal any benefit of the doubt at this point. I guess.
Yeah, right. Rightfully so.
Time was a demon that they would try to slay. Guns get tied as horseshoes. That's how we used to pass the time away in Michigan.
Yeah. Lansing, Michigan. And then they moved to like Fullerton, California, which is like SoCal. Not the worst place in the world to live,
Mm.
The mean streets of Rancho Bernardo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the timer.
That's the timer. Yes.
Yeah, the wings are done.
Oh, they are done.
Anyway, so that last track was rough. I feel like with this next one is where we really sort of take the plunge off the edge of the precipice into just really, really rough territory. With track number 6, My God.
My God is better than your God. My God is bigger than yours. My God is better than your God. My God is bigger than yours. But I'm
All right. He discovered reggae music for the first time.
Oh yeah, the reggaeton beat.
Much to our regret.
I didn't know that Steven Seagal was capable of being so provocative and brave with his lyrics and his critique on religion and society in general.
Is it a critique? Is it a critique? Because he has a line about, well, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Hindu, a Catholic, a Jew. Everything you fear in me is all a part of you. Which I sort of interpreted to be like a sort of all religions come together-y kind of line.
Pantheist sort of thought.
Yeah.
Which sort of makes the my God is bigger than your God line kind of make not much sense.
Oh, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It's just him flexing and how great he is and his God. Oh, his God is the pantheist God, who is the big one who lords over all the other gods.
Oh no, he's definitely he's the critique comes in that line. My God is bigger than yours. Look how base and simple these divisions are. It's my God's bigger than yours. But then he goes in there and he starts saying that he's both, Hindu and Jew and Muslim. And you're like, okay, his is the better way that we should be following, but then we devolve again.
So you're reading this without any sort of deeper meaning whatsoever. It's just him being like, my God's the biggest one. It steps all over your God's brr, brr, brr.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to say this is how fickle our divisions are with these religions, that's what it comes down to. It's just saying oh, well, my dad will beat up your dad. And it's
okay, so there is some deeper meaning ish.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a critique, because I think he's trying to say if you look at it my way, I've achieved Zen and Nirvana. So if you guys follow my example, but no, here we are.
I can show you the way.
Exactly.
This is my gift to you, the children of the world.
And if you didn't already hear, I actually am everywhere. I'm omnipresent. I'm
the grass. I am the trees.
As I mentioned in hit song, Don't You Cry.
So Steven Seagal went to a Unitarian church one time where they told him, oh yeah, God is, in the trees and in the air and, it's just everywhere. And he's like, oh, that's what I got to do. I got to tell people I'm the goddamn grass.
And now I know I have to defeat.
I know who my true enemy is. The air.
I will take his title.
You cannot choke me, air.
Ooh, swallowed funny for a second.
oh God. Oh, I'm shitting.
I can't believe how are we not talking about the fact that this is a Stevie Wonder credit?
Oh yeah, this is the one with Stevie Wonder on it.
Who
is really just slumming it here.
The worst kind of slumming. That
how
harmonica solo.
How on earth did he get Stevie Wonder on here?
Right. What tricks of the devil had surmised, that here we are, where Stevie Wonder's doing a track with Steven Seagal now. And he gives us the worst solo, I think, ever recorded. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It's awful. He's literally slumming it. It sounds like he doesn't want to be there or he was possibly held hostage.
Yeah.
I need to know your secrets, Stevie.
If you ever want to...
You're blind, man. You have secrets, don't you? No, dude. I was sick as a kid. What the fuck? Why are you making fun of my No, I need to know.
That's how you got your harmonica powers, right? What?
Yes, Steven. That's how I got my harmonica powers. Can I please have my $50,000 that I know you have in the briefcase?
Give them to me for just one moment. What? Give me your harmonica powers, Stevie Wonder.
He commits a really, really long time to playing between those two notes back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very long solo, which I'm pretty sure, like, the whole time, just him in the studio, just playing, and just every once in a while, just sort of looks off to the side, like, is that good? No, keep going. Fine.
No, like, that's literally what it feels like. I was like, oh, is he going to stop here? Oh, no, it's going to keep going. And, like, he does.
More damage. More.
I think what's truly horrifying is that this is a Seagal penned track, like solo Seagal. So he wrote the vocal melodies, which means, and Stevie Wonder, like plays the vocal. He plays like the vocal motif on harmonica, like he does like a sort of call and response with the, that like vocal melody of the chorus. The "My God is bigger than your God."
Right. It doesn't sound great.
Well, I think what truly horrifies me is that like Stevie Wonder is one of my favorite songwriters, and someone I have enormous respect for.
Oh yeah, he's one of the all-time best.
He's one of the all-time greats. He's a goat. But it pains me to know that he played a melody that was written by Steven Seagal. Like he let that melody soil his lips.
Oh God, that puts that in such a worse context now that you put it in those terms.
I know, like
that's all I could think of.
Did he have to sit in the room and record this, like the entire length of the song? Did he sit there in that room and hear it played through speakers so he could record his lines, And
Stevie, listen, I got the sheet music right here for the part. No, I think I can just I got to really, I got to put a good ear. I can just
I think I'm fine. I think I'm
no,
fine.
Here you go. Just hands him a napkin that goes do 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 t ta.
Writes it down. Oh man.
Oh, follow the sheet music, Stevie. Come on.
That one dude right there that I circled and underlined a whole bunch. That's the one you should really make the dude happen on. What?
Don't worry, Stevie. You'll know when it comes. When it's time to follow it.
How am I just going to get through this day?
This is like the point. This is a point in the album where I got through that song and I was like, oh, thank God, I must be halfway through. And then I realized with horror that technically I wasn't yet, because next song is song number 7. And
boy.
That's our halfway point.
Yeah, it's like, I have to do one more song before I'm halfway through this album.
Yeah, like at that point you just go like, well, we already did so much at this. We already did so much and so little at this point. How can we not even be halfway done?
How am I 30 minutes into the album?
How could he possibly have more to say?
Guys, this is part of the training. This is part of the attrition that he puts us through to gain higher knowledge.
It's resistance training.
It's absolutely, yeah. We are battling against a mighty force.
It's like you're carrying this album in a cauldron that's burning 2 animal emblems into your wrists, and you have to carry it from one location to another. But if you do, you've attained the rank of master at that point.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, here's track number 7. A cover of the song "My Boy Lollipop," which was apparently something we needed in the aughts, I guess. A cover of a song by doo-wop group The Cadillacs. All right. Here's track number 7, "Lollipop."
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lollipop, lollipop. Oh.
Okay. Well, that's the wrong one.
Jasper.
You actually got you really had my I was like, wait a second, this one's a cover? Like somebody else did this first?
No, here's the actual "Lollipop."
Set the world on fire.
Yeah, Pat's got the right idea.
Yeah, Bog comes
Pulling out the bong.
Hey, bro. Let's just let these party vibes pass through us all.
Now we've reached the point in the album where Steven Seagal really has to show off how many different styles of world music he knows.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
In that really shitty, like 90s aughts sort of, sense of like, if you do something like that's kind of racist, but you say you've got good intentions, it's actually not racist.
Yes, if you make this racist statement but put it over the country of origins music, then it's okay.
As long as you're doing the accent.
You're doing the accent.
Oh God, he pulls the accent out much later on too. But on this one, at least on this one, he's still just doing the Steven Seagal voice, so it just sounds like a dance hall reggae song interpolated with songs being sung by a sad mop.
So who's doing that? Who's doing the reggaeton? Like,
I'm not sure. It doesn't really list. Who's doesn't really credit it in the Wikipedia.
So it's funny in the Wikipedia article, it says that it's a cover, but then writing credited to Seagal and Sean Fisher. So they just said it was their song, but
it's partially a cover then, because like obviously the original one they didn't have dancehall reggae back in the 1950s. The original one was a doo-wop song, so obviously they took a couple of liberties.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess Robert Spencer and Barbie Gay don't get anything. That's the original writers of My Pretty Lollipop.
I think that they might have been proactively requesting not to be credited, would be my guess.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
From Beyond the Grave. Yeah, wow. That's...
posthumously.
Yeah.
The estate, it's like the Tolkien estate. Like, they're doing everything they can not to besmirch the good name of Lollipop. So they said, we don't... No thanks, Mr. Seagal.
I wish you wouldn't do this. No, I need to honor you guys, but also take the credit. It's fine.
Okay, so this wasn't helpful at all. While we were talking, I tried looking up the album on Discogs to see if there was any listing of who the vocalist on that track was, but it literally only lists 5 credits. Steven Seagal, the producer Rick Wake, mastered by Brian Gardner, mastered by Bernie Grundman, photography by Frederic Vaeset.
Good old Grundman?
Bernie Grundman. That name sounds very familiar.
Bernie Grundman.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
Bernie Grundman. Oh. Bernie Grundman mastering. Oh, he's always on Wikipedia. Okay, so he's done some things.
That's where I've heard it. Bernie Grundman.
Well, I'll be.
Wow. Oh, he did some work on Asia. My favorite fucking album of all time.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, he did some mastering for that. Holy shit.
Wow, yeah. Really? He's done some stuff by Henry Nilsson, Hugh Masekela, Yanni.
Yeah, it just sounds like he's like a Bob Ludwig.
He's had a very storied career, this Bernie Grundman.
Yeah. Look at that.
See, this is just another example of like what
James
are these
Taylor,
people?
The Carpenters.
Wow. Ooh, 2 of my favorite albums are on here. Dirty Mind by Prince is on here. Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And now this.
Do you think he acknowledged this credit?
I don't see him listed on Wikipedia. He might have Al Smithied himself off.
Wouldn't surprise me.
In terms of the like cohesion of this album, this is really where I think people kind of stop joining in with him. I mean, like there's a lot of features that happen to the rest of it, but I think this is where it was like, you're on your own, Steven. None of us want anything to do with this anymore.
Yeah, we get a few more solo tracks, a few more oh no, some of these are collabs, but like
there's a lot of
him mouthing. It's his lyrics.
There's a lot of collabs, but really considering like what we know about Steven Seagal, we really got to wonder just how much of that, was actually Steven Seagal, just taking all the credit and stuff like that, and the others just going along with it.
Well, it's something that he does. He's a big like pathological liar. So like we don't know.
Right.
I mean, this whole album just feels like it was coerced, instead like
big time. Very
like,
coercive.
I mean, I certainly feel coerced listening to this.
Yeah. Some people release the angel from within the marble, and some people coerce songs of the Crystal Cave from the ether.
Someone stole the sacred idol from the Crystal Cave, and now we're stuck with this curse.
Come on, Steven, you crapped your pants during one Indiana Jones movie. We don't have to do this. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone.
Put the idol back in the Crystal Cave, Steven. No, it's mine.
What have you done?
You've unleashed a horrible evil upon the world. But look at it on my shelf. Isn't it cool?
It's on my finger now. Look at it. That's his. The idol is just a ring. I didn't realize this, but I was curious to see if any of these songs were featured in an actual Steven Seagal film. And
Don't You Cry is, I believe.
Don't You Cry is in Into the Sun.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, you all remember that one.
I don't.
I'm going completely off of like vague memories, but is the image cover, like the cover image for that movie, is it like helicopter, like Black Hawk helicopters against like a sunset?
No, I'm looking at
There is a sunset,
DVD
but there's no Black Hawk helicopters.
It's him in a trench coat walking away from an explosion, all cool like in a very some Japanese city of sorts, and there's a very stereotypical Japanese Land of the Rising Sun style sun in the background.
Okay, yeah. The Black Hawks, those are interchangeable with any number of his other films.
With the tagline, "Only one man can stop the Yakuza."
Steven Seagal, who apparently lived.
That's not the guy.
That's not the guy. He says he's beaten some literal. He says he's beaten some literal Yakuzas in his day. But,
I don't think that's true.
Well, I think it is, because there's a great number of elderly Yakuza members. And I could see totally like assaulting an old man in like a bathhouse and then being like,
here we go. Elder abuse charges.
Sure. Why not?
Oh my God, okay.
Why not also add that to Steven Seagal's rap sheet?
I believed you. I thought you just pulled up an article. I was like, okay, well, just add to the list.
Oh boy.
It's pretty believable though. This is not the informational podcast. If only one bit of true information to be gleaned from this podcast, it's the shitting himself story. I really want us to be the people who introduce that to someone.
Well, it's just trim the fat and get right down to it, Yeah. He shits himself.
The man's a pooper.
I say, my guy's a guy. He's a pooper.
He's a pooper.
He's a straight up pooper.
Dude poops.
Yeah. Intentional.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just the truth. He poops. Don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I don't. It's a little weird, but
it is.
He wants to. Whatever floats his boat. I've never defecated. I only go pee.
I only go number one. See?
Yeah. I mean, I just drink water. I'm very hungry.
I'm having difficulty walking, but
yeah.
Have there always been three of you?
Aim for the one in the middle.
Here's track number 8, Not For Sale. Another Sean Fisher collaboration right here.
My word is not for sale. My reputation is not for sale. My bond is not for sale. My heart is not for sale. You can try to take my soul, but it's not for sale. You can try to take my love, but it's not for sale. You can try to take my voice, but it's not for sale. You can try to take my freedom.
We didn't ask for any of that, Steven.
Yeah, I certainly don't need any.
We never asked to purchase your word, reputation, bond, heart, soul, love, voice, or freedom.
Frankly, the thought had not even occurred to me to try to acquire these things. the note that I wrote for this was, honestly, I'm impressed with Mr. Seagal's ability to do so much damage with the Fruity Loop software.
That's very
This
good.
is his taking on the man track, right here.
Oh yeah, he's had enough. He's had enough of us taking his stuff.
He's had enough of having a career in Hollywood.
I mean, I'm just glad that he's able to affirm his integrity in this way.
Oh yes, you got his word is bond, I assume.
This is a man who looks you in the eye and shakes your hand and occasionally will throw you across the room.
Shakes your hand and says, "I could have killed you just then, but I didn't."
I thought of 5 different ways to kill you before I even crossed this room.
See,
Like
I'm gonna swallow this chicken wing whole because I'm immune to choking.
Oh God, I'm shitting again. I'm shitting.
Get the bucket. Johnson, get the bucket.
You try to kill us with your lawyers, the immoral and corrupt. For those who seek the higher wisdom, we will not give up. Man's law will take your breath away. Man's law will take the light from day. Man's law will protect the lawless. Man's law will make the righteous powerless.
Dear
Okay.
God. So, but the lawyer's comment is problematic because of like all the allegations and like, you know.
Yeah,
lawsuits
no
against
kidding.
him.
You know, art imitates life. I'm trying to, because I can't remember exactly, but did he actually go for it and try to rhyme powerless and lawless together? Like, did he enunciate it in that way?
I'm not sure.
Powerless.
I'm not sure, but he immediately says righteous, powerless lawmakers after that. It
Classic.
was such a good line. I'll say it again. Now it's starting to turn into Corey Feldman.
Might as well be. He's like just as out of touch. You know, it's the problem with like movie stars making an albums. They're not real people.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's not making a wrong point by saying that laws are unjust, but it's wrong for him to be the one saying it.
Yeah, like who gave you the right? You know,
What laws are on that? What laws? Is it just laws in general?
Who made you the mouthpiece? Those laws are the people, like on boats. Like trying to tax my boat.
Trying to say I can't drag my trash can out to the curb past April 1st.
Trying to tell me trying to tell me I need to put my trash in the trash can and not the gutter.
We tried to
I
tell
don't
me I
care
can't
that
park on the
7:30. I don't care. It's Saturday morning. I'm going to use my leaf blower like a free American. Just like everyone else there. I'm sure you can appreciate that.
One time I parked the wrong direction on the street. I just eat my flesh and drink my blood, righteous, powerless lawmakers.
Take that, San Andreas City Council.
Steven, can you just pay the $25 ticket, please? No.
No, I'm taking a stand for
We
the
don't have
world.
to do this every time, Steven. There's forms you can fill out. If you want to contest the ticket, just fill out the online form.
You want
Literally, just
$50,000,
go
man?
into court. Just say you're guilty in court. They'll cut you a break.
Do you think when Steven Seagal engages himself in some sort of, like verbal dispute, does he do one of those things where he visibly centers himself, like does a deep breath and like runs his hand from his like forehead down to the center of his chest and achieves his chi balance or something? Because like I imagine that's what happens, including like when he's contesting these parking tickets.
I would not just believe that he does that, but that he believes that works.
I'll give
Oh,
him
boy.
the conspiracy voice.
You have no idea how close you were to total annihilation.
I don't know what you saw. I don't know if you knew what I did in Under Siege 2.
Did you see Under Siege 2? It was pretty good.
When they told me it was going to be straight to TV, I said, good. Every American owns a TV.
Take it straight to the people.
I said, put it red on Redbox. I want to see my face on the cover of Redbox every month. I'll keep giving you all the good stuff.
when
They took it straight to Redbox, and like they took it straight to Redbox, and now you can't even go to the grocery store without running into a Redbox. I win.
Again, it's Don't You Cry manifest once again. Every red box you see.
I'll be watching.
Here's track number 9 from the person who gave us the song Music. Dance.
Yeah.
Please dance and leave it all behind for a while. Look into my eyes and smile. Please dance and leave it all behind for a while. Look into my eyes and smile. Please dance and leave it all behind for a while. Look into my eyes and smile. Please dance and leave it all behind for a while. Look into my eyes and smile.
Were you having as hard a time as I was trying to keep it together at look into my eyes as well?
This one makes me imagine him belly dancing the entire time, and it's like
it's not enough for him to incompetently jock reggae rhythms. Now he's doing it to Middle Eastern songs too.
He films one scene in Morocco, and he's a Bedouin.
This one another Sean Fisher collab.
Oh God!
See,
Yeah, he gets
Sean
very,
Fisher.
Why are you feeding his ego, Sean Fisher?
You
could ask the same question of Greg Barnhill for that matter.
I'm starting to think. So, have you seen any evidence that Sean Fisher is real elsewhere, like aside from listed as a credit?
Why don't we look that up on Discogs real quick?
Producer, yeah, he's a guy.
I've been having this theory that Sean Fisher is like a fake name that he credits so that he can be like, well, I can use that word because I have a black friend, or like, I can play this song because I have a friend who's from the Middle East.
He does use aliases all the time, so that could be one of his ones for when he's staying at a hotel and needs to go under a name, or conducting some business and needs you to call a guy who knows a guy.
You want to use a top limit? Not available.
He's done a lot of writing and production for Mandy Moore, it looks like.
Yeah, he's done some producer spots here and there. I think like part of it is these are a bunch of like nobodies, and I think maybe they thought this would kind of help launch him a little bit, working with the movie star.
Like a remora attached to the bottom of a shark.
That's one heck of a wagon to attach yourself to.
I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it's a smart.
To think that Steven Seagal is going to be your meal ticket.
This isn't the good kind of wagon hitching. This is the bad kind.
Yeah, I mean, times were tough.
This was like, 2005?
Yeah, 2004.
2004? Okay, I mean, that was nothing was going on. 2005 was
the sequel record. Oh, wait, it was 2005. I'm thinking of 2006 with the sequel record, Mojo Priest.
Oh,
goodness.
And then he does another album in 2013, I think, called And an Artist.
It's not listed on Wikipedia.
It's not listed on Wikipedia, but it is on his Spotify for some reason. So hold on,
that just means Wikipedia took a look at that and just went, "No, enough, enough, Steve."
I think that's when Steven Seagal forgot his password to his Wikipedia account, and he could stop like updating his own entries.
Oh, so he updates his own entries, you think?
Like nobody else is.
Yeah, so this album cover is great because it's all black except for Cooper font text saying any great warrior is also a scholar and a poet and an artist in all red in the album.
That's the album cover that you just showed us?
Yes.
He saw that Black Keys album Brothers and thought, you could do that? That's great.
What I thought. I thought the fucking.
I want to do that.
I love the Black Keys.
I want to do that too.
He was killing two birds with
commercial last year. They were great on it.
What he did was like when he put this album onto like DistroKid or something, he was like, he only had the image of like a t-shirt idea that he had for Spencer Gifts. And he's like, this will do. I'll just throw this on.
Oh yeah.
What's a JPEG?
What do you mean it's got to be 3,000 by 3,000? Isn't 100 by 26 enough?
if it's on the screen, how do I know how big it is in real life? What do I make?
Pixel dimensions. What the hell is that?
300 what?
$300? I'm already paying for this. And now you want more?
Of course I have money. I'm rich.
All right, here you go. Here's more money. Make it happen.
You can't extort me. I'm a deputy, you know.
You, sir, have committed a crime.
Oh my God. This song is ridiculous dance. If we can even talk about it, like he's doing this like goofy belly dance, like pseudo Middle Eastern thing. This
is the song where Steven Seagal realized that you could Control-C copy and paste with his lyrics.
Oh, yes.
Like, that was easy. I filled a whole page this way.
His lyrics are influenced by the musical content of the
Has
Middle
anyone
East.
else tried this?
Much like the instrumentation, I too am droning in my lyrics, so they take on a chanting quality.
It's a lyrical ostinato.
He sees himself as a snake, you know, and he's hypnotizing his audience here.
I am
like literally what I think.
I am an incredibly worldly ambassador for the people by making the most stereotypical sounding thing possible.
Well, all right. So 2004. So I mean, we were going into like Iraq and Afghanistan. So like maybe he was cashing in on like there's gonna be some action movies that take place here. He was getting his soundtrack ready.
Gotta have a song ready for it.
These are all songs for like 14 ideas for movies that he was planning on doing. So he got one to cross over to the movie.
He gave all of them to his agent and just said, "Make it happen." You know this could probably just be an album instead. You dig?
Hey man, let's try this. Save me a lot of groundwork. You know what I mean?
I'd rather it be 14 movies, you know? Yeah, well, that's a lot of work, Steven.
That's a lot of people that have to be around you. And the list of people that you can be within 100 yards of is getting shorter and shorter each year.
Listen, I did a lot of preparation for this album. You guys heard of Sgt. Pepper's, right? Like the Beatles album? No, the movie. I got the soundtrack to the movie. I want to do something like that. But like instead of
it's amazing. There's this one point where the Bee Gees turn to the screen and go, "She's so heavy."
It's like the greatest.
Not like how I did it. They did it a lot better.
They did it a lot more British than me, but it's
So instead of making a movie out of all the songs, we make a movie out of each song.
What would the movie be called for this one, though? Like, because it has to be 2 words.
Oh yeah. So, well, I don't know. Above the Law was 3.
True, but the is
that was
one. Dance is just 1 word. So call it dance.mp3. There, I solved it for you. Lollipop.mp3. That's 2 words. Music.mp3.
Eastern Limits.
I'm doing your job for you.
Lincoln Park breaking the habit.mp3/exe.
Safe. If it doesn't have the word safe.
Yeah, safe. Complete version.
We can't forget about those, that's why historians like to find diaries, because they find those small details that get forgotten over time. But don't forget that the word safe was in there too. Yes. Your computer will not be destroyed.
No, and that those tildes.
What could possibly go wrong?
So what if this is your dad's computer?
There's only 12 underscores in a row. Here's track number 10, Jealousy.
Jealousy, treachery, those who have to be what they cannot be. Jealousy, treachery, those who think they see what they cannot see. Jealousy, treachery. Jealousy, treachery.
Steven goes to Bollywood, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
and it doesn't go well. Which
What I
really,
think-
that could be said for pretty much every track on here.
what I think happened was like as throughout the recording process, like when the first round of producers bailed on him around like track 5, like he accidentally hit a setting that was like ethnic instruments, you know, and then like he was like, I don't know how to get out of this setting.
Yeah,
so
ethnic number 3 on the Casio.
yeah, you know, jungle dance.
This was a co-write from Lady Saw, aka Marion Hill, as she's credited on the album.
So yeah, this is where it gets interesting because we start seeing like Lady Saw, and then I think was like Stitch or something was the other. And he kind of bounces back.
Cleveland Lang, whatever his name is.
Really? I'm looking on Wikipedia. It says Lady Saw is also credited as Lieutenant Stitchy.
Oh, Lieutenant Stitchy is Cleveland Lang. Cleve Lang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I think in our chat, I made the comparison that this is, to once again tie it back to Corey Feldman, this is his Bad People, if you remember that track.
Yeah. This is, again, him not being self-aware.
That was Corey Feldman raging at the press and the paparazzi and stuff. And then, like, then you've got Jealousy, which, you know, contains this little breakdown.
You're a journalist?
Yeah.
How's that?
That's what I get paid for.
Well, did you ever go to school?
Yeah, I got school and now for fuck you for money. Hey man, this is freedom of the press.
Oh, you mean freedom to fuck us for free?
Hey man, this is our constitution. You know the 5th fucking amendment.
You've turned this piece of paper into a weapon of mass destruction. Our forefathers will be rolling over in their graves.
Oh my God.
He's angry. He's angry.
That's the part where I was like, I drove her. So I couldn't listen to this with people around me.
He
like,
hates
I was
himself a journalist.
That's when I was driving around and like actually like my face kind of snapped in shock towards the radio to like, because it's like, you know, like I had to look at something, you know, so like I was being attacked. And so like my body just said, you need to look at whatever that is. That's
you had a fight or flight response.
Yeah. You know, and you know, I'm glad to say it seems like my body chose fight in this one because I looked to my attacker and I was ready to defend myself, but no, it was, you know, him and this reporter. And like, that's what the premise of the song is, that the paparazzi are following Steven Seagal around. And that's where I'm like, all right, buddy, you're delusional now.
How dare all those treacherous, jealous journalists try to slander him by writing about the things he does in public.
And I think
yeah,
he says weapon of mass destruction. And, you know, again, based on the time frame, I think he was
2005.
Yeah. Like, I think he's, you know, he's trying to buy into that crowd a little bit there of like, yeah, that's right.
Journalism is the real weapon of mass destruction.
You know who the bad guys are? The ones that say things like, don't attack innocent civilians. They just want us to lose the war.
The real terrorists are the ones who put a story in GQ about how I got on all fours and act like a dog.
But that was totally real. I did it.
But you don't tell people that though.
You're supposed to like read about it in my book.
Does
he have a
book?
I
mock your self-flagellations?
We don't engage in self-flagellation, Stephen. Oh, well, la-dee-da.
Look at you. Not even whipping yourself.
High and mighty.
Yeah. So that was a interesting section. I definitely had to rewind it actually and listen to it again to make sure I understood what was going on.
Yeah.
So
it's
that
real,
was
it just comes out of nowhere, and the moment you hear it, you're just like, wait a minute. How can I possibly listen to anything else that happens in this song after that?
Like
Exactly.
you've had a fever for 2 days straight, but then suddenly you wake up and you have this like brief moment of clarity where you're like, okay, I'm in my bed. Like it's nighttime sometime. And then you fall back into the fever again. But like briefly you're like rested into the real world, you know, like in a,
at that point though, you realize you want to go back.
Yeah, like please.
In a moment of lucidity, you decide that you no longer want to be lucid and to fall back into the fever dream.
That's the like insidious tragedy of it, is that it it's you convincing yourself to succumb instead of, it's not an external force at that point. It's a choice.
You just let your head hit the pillow and just go like, oh, ambient coma, take me away.
Let's go on a ride.
Very, very slowly, silent lucidity starts to fade in, and then everything just turns to static.
Right before Jeff Tate's vocal starts, it's just that like acoustic intro.
What you just said kind of reminded me of those text-based computer games from like the late 90s or whatever.
The Sierra games.
Yeah. And there was always that sort of like vague, like liminal space kind of uncanny valley feeling that it was like everything was unsettling, even like basic things. It was like, you turn on the light in the room, the light is bright. And you're like, oh, but why is it bright? Like everything's like kind of vaguely scary. Like that's how I felt listening throughout this album of like, I'm not in the real world anymore. I'm in some sort of like, programmed version that's meant to convince me that what's happening is real, but it can't be.
We're in Steven's dojo. I mean, this is its own very sacred place that only through, subjecting ourselves to these 14 tracks do we truly begin to understand his hushed genius.
This is dojo.exe.
Yes.
_ safe.
So my one last thought on that section, the journalist section, was I'm realizing now that this was a co-write with Lady Saw, and that was probably Lady Saw doing that part, playing the part of the journalist.
I think that was implied.
Without that context, I thought it was just like Steven Seagal feeling victimized by like a Jamaican reporter, and it felt very problematic to me. Or something. I don't know. It was.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, without that context, that looks really, really, really bad instead of just bad.
And like her like yelling about the Fifth Amendment or something, which is incorrect. Like I don't know, just made it sound like it was like a crude college student or something. Like just.
Oh yeah, that's the Fifth Amendment isn't even freedom of the press.
No.
I plead the Fifth.
Steve, I don't think the Fifth Amendment is the Fifth Amendment isn't freedom of the press. Read the line like I wrote it.
So obviously this song was written in, his fury after leaving a court case and being approached by paparazzi or reporters or whoever, like whatever intern was assigned to following Steven Seagal around for TMZ that day. Like, I know you're not paid for this, but this will make your career, kid.
Literally, and then asking what he's up to. What did you do this time, Steven?
Because I mean, he like throughout the song, he has things like, "Oh, they'll destroy your reputation, they'll take your wife," and it's like, what will the reporters will, or these clear and repeating accusations against you?
I'm sorry. I need to get us to the next track because I'm looking at the lyrics to this, and it is, oh boy.
Oh, we're ready.
I know.
Not to cut this short, but here's track number 11, War.
Well, it might be tobacco, or it might be a little oil. It might be some big business, or a little tiny piece of soil. Greed, lies, and hate. And it's all because of white war.
Thank goodness Steven Seagal made that clear to us.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't have guessed what it was otherwise.
Again, with his just cutting critique of society, Steven Seagal is a man who just cuts through the bullshit.
Yeah,
and right down to brass tacks.
Says things like "nice shirt, nice tie, nice look in your eye." So tell me why we will never see you where the bullets fly. You sit in your big house and you watch it on TV. Murder in the jungle, murder in the streets. You will sell us these lies like a can of soup. But I know the real enemy is one you cannot dupe. He rhymes soup and dupe.
I'm glad. Okay, because when I listened to it,
that's like, what he did.
When he says that soup line, like you can feel the energy just suck out of that song. Like whatever weird energy that's there currently, he drops that soup line, and it's like you can hear, like I feel like you can hear the other musicians look at each other like, did he just say soup? But then he follows it up and he rhymes it with dupe, and I mean, only now I realize what he said.
I mean, knowing that, there's no way that this was the only take. Like you say that it sucked all the life out of the room. I have a feeling it sucked all the life out of the building. It's like,
Yeah,
you
the
sell
building
us these lies.
The power outage
You
today.
sell us these lies like a can of soup. What happened? Who turned the lights off?
Wait a second. Are we getting this?
No,
the
we're not,
power's out
Steve.
again.
You caused a power outage.
Again. This is
That's how dangerous I am.
I'm sorry. I'll have to stop focusing my chi so much.
I'm immune to electricity. I can't help it. Just hook it up to my ass.
Just put it on my nipples and see.
Ooh, yeah.
So the only note that I wrote for this song was whoa.
Oh, so woke.
Like everything else got a couple of sentences. This one was just whoa. And I couldn't. Oh no, later on I said, what is with the white guy reggae? So like I think that was like a thought that came to me later on, is like, why does this keep happening? Like
There's a
Nope.
lot of reggaeton tracks in a row on this one.
Yeah, but
I was expecting
I mean,
a bit
don't
more
you know,
variety.
Steve? Don't you know Steven Seagal is the inventor of wokeness?
well, see, this is why like my headcanon theory about this album just is making more and more sense now. Because like one group of people abandoned him halfway through. This other group of like Lady Saw and what was it, Lieutenant Stitch or whatever. Like now they're involved, and like it turns into all these like sort of like vague reggae songs. I just to have been a fly on the wall.
Yeah, I wonder how they felt. I wonder how they felt about it. Like, because clearly, like looking from the personnel, there's a lot of, legit, African performers, Jamaican performers, Indian performers performing like legitimate, instrumentation and stuff. I wonder how they feel about just having this style co-opted by, like I said, a talking mop.
Yeah, see, that's what's funny is like it's woke, or it's him attempting to be like, let's be woke here or whatever, but like inadvertently it actually does have me thinking about the great many evils that like empire has perpetrated on the people of these islands and things, that we come here and steal their songs and give it to Steven Seagal to do this with it. I'm like, yeah, you're right, dude. There are some bad things out there.
There's something to be said here about late stage capitalism. I just know it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I think like that's part. Yeah, I mean that's part of it too. Is that like there are a bunch of these kind of with all due respect, of course, kind of no name players here. Or at least like very little seems to be known about them. And I wonder if he was just like, all right, I need to find talents, but like give them a big chunk of change, and that way they'll feel obligated to be a part of this, and like he has the money to be able to do that, and like take advantage of a lesser known producer, musician, what have you, who are just
session people who just want to make their living,
who want to be able to eat that year, because being a musician is a fucking harrowing career these days. So like
super high pay, steady, and comes with benefits and retirement.
Oh yeah, no, nobody tells
I'm
you.
on my third Aston Martin.
Yeah, nobody tells you that local level musicians get free health insurance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Once you
we're all
fill out,
doing just fine.
That's health.
Oh yeah, and housing, you don't even have to worry about it.
Oh yeah. Yep. Certainly not
What?
Forcing them out.
Who needs a roof when
Pricing
you've
them
got
out.
a song?
Yeah, exactly. How about a song?
Oh, don't worry about food.
I don't have enough money for groceries. Then sing me a song.
Don't mind if I do.
Here's track number 12, Strut.
Girl, would you really want that night? Me want the body if it make me feel nice. Why? Tell me what you really want all night. Me want the bananas if it make me nice. Me want the body, him want the banana. I mean, know it nice. So when the girls start to strut, you could look.
Oh no.
This was
Just,
an
oh
no.
no.
Oh no.
That's the most time that I have heard the word punani.
Those are words that he wrote.
So as I've listened to this album,
and he presumably put Lady Saw up to saying these words too.
That's the truly reprehensible thing.
Did he ask, like, what would you call it? And she's like, Punani? Like, shit, I don't know, man.
I actually looked it up. Punani, I guess, is a Jamaican slang term for vagina.
Yeah.
As if that makes it okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, did he, like, again, was he coercing? You know, he's like, what? Help me write this song, Lady Saw. So she's like wincing in the corner, like, oh God.
The lyrics
to
this,
go home.
The lyrics to this are on Spotify. Like they pop up with the one. Actually, I think they're on all the tracks. This is the one I noticed though had the lyrics, and I read along because I needed to know. And it's really funny because I'm pretty sure Lady Saw says that she wants the body, but on the lyrics it says buddy. I want the buddy.
Oh God, it does.
That's amazing.
I want the buddy. Want you, buddy.
It's alarming.
I just want to be buddies.
Like, it's alarming.
Buds.
You can only get that from genius.com, which is like just the Wikipedia of lyrics.
I mean, Lady Saw
in that it's all like from people. Someone heard that and thought they said buddy and thought, yep, that's the word.
I think those are the real lyrics. I think it was she was trying to set boundaries, you know, and friend zone Steven, you know, right off the bat. Like, I just want you to be my buddy.
Oh God, do you think that's what happened? Like, was it? I feel a strange energy between us. What is this between us? And she's like, oh
no, you don't. No energy there. Thank you.
Nope. Okay, I'm gonna go into the booth. Okay, I'm gonna stay here.
Does the booth lock, sir? Does the booth lock?
When the girls start to strut, you could look at her butt. You shouldn't do that. Think about just that, because her clothes are just as pretty. They're not just to cover her kitty.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
A 50-plus-year-old man sang that.
A walrus of a man committed these two.
So you said you can look at her butt, but it's B-U-T, not B-U-T-T. That's the play on words there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that doesn't make things better.
And there's another one later on in the next verse where he says, I can make you come to the ocean with me, or something like that.
He rhymes that with a shot of rum.
Yes. So the idea is that he stops on come, so it punctuates it. Does it with butt
and
as well in the previous verse.
Rare display of self-awareness. He admits that intoxication is going to be a factor in what happens throughout the rest of the evening.
Oh boy. Yeah. Prince would look at that and go, fucking take a bath, dude.
Yeah, right. Prince is like, dude, you are way too horny. Fucking, that's gross, man. We don't want to hear about it. Dial it back a bit.
I mean, sure, horniness, sex positivity, but there are limits.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Both Prince and Lady Saw had a conversation about boundaries on the same day that the song was recorded.
You have committed a carnal sin in lyric form.
I mean, I think Steven Seagal like kind of surrendered his right to be sex positive by being a fucking sex pest. You know? That's
true.
That's my view on the whole thing.
Well, do you know how Loki get into a field? They have sex.
Oh God!
I should know. I'm the field.
I am those blades of grass as they get eaten.
I'm immune to being eaten. No, I live
Don't
on
worry.
as
I'll
different
never
blades
die.
I live on as different blades of grass elsewhere.
When one blade falls, it only grows the next.
I can't die, even if you step on grass.
You can mow me sometimes.
Does the earth give one's foot? Oh boy.
Oh, this song sucks. This album fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I mean, it's like, as I thought about it, I tried to come up with all these different positive things. Like, oh, at least he's disciplined, or like, at least he's earnest or whatever. But like, with these things that you've explained to me about him as well, I'm just,
Sometimes you just can't. That's really all it comes down to.
And I mean, in essence, that's kind of the lesson. There's that Buddhism again, Mr. Seagal, you know, like sometimes it just doesn't work out. And in your case, it's always. But that's the way it is, you know? You have to flow with that like the river.
Oh boy, there's still 2 more tracks to go. This is unacceptable.
2 of the best songs.
All right, yeah, let's get through it.
Oh yes, in case you thought cringing at Steven Seagal's, you know, supposed worldliness was. Here's track number 13, titled "Gory."
And I'm free when I close my eyes. I said I can't live one night. Help me wash away my sorrow. Help me drown out my pain.
Oh no,
Steven! No!
That goes on for a while.
It does.
You're doing everyone justice, like a favor by not making them listen.
No, Steven. The white action star from the 1980s and early 90s should not be allowed to write a song about African slaves and add that breakdown. What the hell?
So, yeah. The only explanation I could come up with for that part that was like at all forgiving was at like the 2:40 mark, he just accidentally recorded over like a recording of like an actual African drum troupe or something. Like, oops, oh my God, we recorded over our 1976 recording of the African drum troupe.
Oh no. It's fine. It's totally seamless. I don't think it's seamless, Steve.
It really jarringly comes in there too. Like it resembles something that would make sense as a passage, you know, it's like, which is kind of the theme throughout this whole album of like, it's music that almost could be good if done properly.
Yeah, it does kind of make that jump between like that song Michael Jackson did for Free Willy, just right directly into fucking Zombie by Fela Kuti.
That's being charitable. But
yeah,
yes. That's the idea.
I think that's the most charitable I can be towards this song and this album.
I think that's about as far as you can go. This is African drums is a credit on here.
I feel like just take. I feel like this, like so many other songs here, just taken on their face minus Steven Seagal would be perfectly fine. But then you add Steven Seagal to the mix, and it turns into an aberration, an incredibly problematic aberration.
I just want to say again that when this album got picked off the list of various albums, I had no idea what we were doing, so I'm sorry.
No, this is great.
And this is we're back to the solo Steven Seagal joints. So these were entirely his decisions.
Wow. So he orchestrated that. He orchestrated the professional African drummers who very kindly appeared on this album. You know,
no one was around to tell him that might be a bad and terrible idea for you to do, Steven Seagal, white person.
This could, my conspiracy theory that he just accidentally recorded over somebody else's recording. Like maybe that's what that credit is. Just don't rule it out. It could have been aliens.
All right, guys, before we're going to hit record, I want you, sometimes you hit the notes and sometimes like the notes are quieter than the other ones. Those are ghost notes, Steven. They're like, part of rhythm. No, I want you to play them like all at the same volume and just like, make it all sound like the same thing. I'm not going to do that, Steven. That's going to like, we don't have the endurance for that. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it sounds great. And it's not going to sound good at all, actually.
Sometimes people
paying you $100 or not.
Sometimes people have told me I sound like a ghost.
Okay.
A really gross and dusty ghost. I don't know what they mean.
They refer to me as ghost because of my ability to cross a room silently.
I don't think that's what it is, Steven.
You never know when you might have to assassinate a political leader.
That's got to be it. I was in the CIA once.
I entered the CIA building once. I was asked to leave.
I entered the CIA gift shop once.
You got a sick mug, I'm not going to lie. It had like the emblem on it.
It says world's greatest CIA agent. I can't believe no one else thought to do that.
So
I went to the Pentagon Mall and got an onion pretzel, official CIA pretzel. They don't have that at the other malls. Steven, yes, they do. They literally have an onion at like every mall.
Yeah, it's called
Not this one.
Then I went to the sweet factory and got $27 worth of chocolate covered Cheez-Its.
So you would ask,
which is
earlier,
1 pound.
You had asked earlier about like what you think of his guitar technique. And the note that I had written on the song originally was that, Mr. Seagal applies his one guitar solo technique to the rhythm guitar to middling result. And that's what happened.
You nailed it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Because he just does his dead and it's like trills the entire time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is like the first
except for the drum section.
That's like the first like noodly thing that you learn as a guitar player. Like I figured that out when I was in 7th grade and was like, oh cool, yeah, I sound like a real guy now.
I'm doing a Van Halen.
Doing a Van Halen.
Like knowledge is the ability to play a trill. Wisdom is not doing it.
I want you to watch.
Watch and learn my guitar chops. Like
a praying mantis.
That's the same thing you did before, Steven. No, this one's totally different. Like this one. Steven.
This one starts on 6.
Okay, Steven.
I don't think he knows the notes so much, like I think he's like a numbers on the fretboard type guy.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And no, this song is in 2.
This one starts on 6 because I was thinking of the number 6 when I started playing it.
6 seems like a dark number.
Yeah, B flat, damn.
I'm playing a B flat, which means it's minor.
Yes.
We're finally to the last song, track number 14. Too many songs. Far too many songs on this record.
This is like 3 EP.
Yeah, fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers would look at this and go, tone it back.
Have a little class, man.
Yeah.
Know when to stop.
Tool will look at this and be like, Jesus, it's a little indulgent, isn't it?
Wow, okay.
Big shot here with the long album, with a long player.
Think you're so big just because you got so many eyeballs. Here's track number 14, The Light.
There's a hole in the line, and I know it's one way. And once you go in, they throw the key away. Darkness befalls the night, night begets the day. If I see you on this journey.
This is him trying to do Sting, really.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about it. This is his take on Sting.
I thought it was kind of funny, and I'm probably giving him way too much credit at this point, but like I thought maybe he saved the song "The Light" for the end to be like, see, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and like
I was about to say,
yeah, like you've reached it. Don't worry, you're transcending now. You're out of this dark crystal cave of mine that I've built around you.
We're seeing the light now. We're fine. I mean, damn.
At the end of the tunnel to the crystal cave.
That's a good point, Mario.
We've gotten through. The note that I wrote here was, "Oh God, he's using light as a metaphor." So like, but
that always works well.
Oh,
for knowledge.
But yeah, I think it's like, we're finally breaking the lock that's on that basement door and getting out and just like frantically running to the street. And Steven Seagal has locked me in his basement for 5 hours.
Come back! I want to show you some more guitar trills.
I want to show you some hi-yas.
No, I'm
check out this one. God, it's the same one again.
I'm calling to the police now, Stephen. No, it's okay. I'm a deputy. You can call the police. I'm a deputy.
I'm the police.
I am the police.
How can I help?
Jesus, now I'm just wondering, did he get on the force just to like delete some police records?
Oh gosh.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
That has some unfortunate implications.
Yeah, I really like. Oh my God, I've learned so much about Steven Seagal today that I want to. I thought I thought he
was just a harmless bad movie actor.
Yeah, like I thought he had the dignity of just being insufferable, like pox on us all in terms of like cinema. Like, all right, you're just you just make awful movies and you think you're like a Zen master or whatever. It's like that's where it stops.
I mean, if that was it, then that'd be fine. That would be perfectly harmless enough. But no, he's a dyed-in-the-wool piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like in a lot of different ways, a absolute piece of shit.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea. So I feel bad that like, it's like, oh boy, just kick this corpse over and over again.
Well, thankfully we had nothing nice to say about this anything on here that he did.
I mean, doesn't this just give you like big scumbag Fields of Gold vibes?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's awful.
And like just one last little insult to the whole impetus of this album, to go back to like your main point about how he's immortal, Mario. There's a line that just comes right here. All of us alive and all of us will cry. All of us will live and surely we will die. So he fucking lied to us. He's not immortal after all.
Interesting.
I like it.
Although he follows that up with, what is the question and who am I? So maybe he's not sure if he's immortal. Either way, like he made a claim and can't back it up.
Was that like his sort of like Mad Hattery God thing? Like, oh, we're all going to die. Just kidding. Who are you asking?
Maybe. Your guess is as good as mine at this point.
See, the problem is I keep trying to give this like serious interpretation that there might be some deeper meaning here, but then I have to remind myself that no, this is actually Steven Seagal.
Well, see, the thing about being a songwriter, right, is that you have the opportunity to make the lyrics, not necessarily you being the narrator. The narrator could be a character, could be a total different person. You could be speaking through your interpretation of another person. So maybe Steven Seagal is just offering us different characters. This one person believes that, he's immortal, but this other character says, I'm dead.
Right, but Steven Seagal really only has one character. That's Steven Seagal.
Oh, yeah. No, he plays himself in every movie that he's in.
His projection of himself, that was that, like, because with all this oneness talk and how he, he's everything, like that's part of his enlightenment, is that he has experienced these evils of the world in different forms, as different people. But of course, he himself is immune to it,
No, guys, on this song, I'm this guy called Nico Toscani, and then that's just your character from Above the Law. No, it's not. And then in this one, my name is Officer
Mason
Casey
Storm
Ryback.
Is my name. That's hard to kill. No, it's not. Shut up.
Man, Steven Seagal.
There was this other time that I was portraying, and this one song I was portraying Cameo by Steven Seagal. What?
Cameo. It's his like Bandito name.
No. Let me try that again.
That's what you say every time you're on set.
Hold on, I'm just looking up my IMDb real quick. I forget what my character's names are.
Action John.
I've only actually seen one Steven Seagal movie. I'm trying to remember. It had the dude from the dude from Scrubs in it, not Zach Braff, but like the head doctor guy who's like all sarcastic and shit.
What would that one have been?
It was came out in like 94, I think. It was
On Deadly Ground?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the one.
The 1994 environmental action adventure film, directed and co-produced by Steven Seagal.
There we go. Yeah, John C. McGinley is the guy's name, and yeah, I remember him.
Oh no, Michael Caine is in this.
Michael
Caine.
Why Michael?
Wow, it's like he could be a Renaissance man, like with all these weird experiences and all these different titles and things that he has. It's like, oh, Steven Seagal, the Renaissance man of the 21st century. But instead, it's
no,
it's like crappy attempts at it, and just
he really wants you to think that he's a Renaissance man, and that's like part of his brand and part of like the story that he tried to sell.
That he's like some kind of shaman or something.
Yeah, this is the story that he sold to producers and like dumbass Hollywood producers with too much money. We're like, oh, geez, look at this guy. He's real cool. And they just gave him a bunch of money to do all this shit. And then the movies sold. They were huge hits. So like he was doing something right. I know it was the action thriller was like a big thing at the time.
Oh, we got to make our money back somehow. We might as well hitch our cart to this pony.
Yeah, to the divorced dad pony.
I've been living off of Elio's pizza for 6 weeks straight.
You know, that's the best part of the pizza. The middle bit.
No crust. What a genius.
I know the antagonist in this movie is a Russian spy saboteur, but it's supposed to be my ex-wife, who I'm still married to. Actually, shit, I got to get on divorcing.
Shit, how many wives am I still married to? I always forget.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens too.
Oh yeah.
Well, he does
a wife in Japan, and then he goes back to the States and marries someone there.
And he leaves a wife and kids in Japan because he's a piece of shit.
And then leaves the lady that he married in L.A., goes back to Japan to meet another woman, a third woman.
To marry Kelly LeBrock from Weird
to marry
Science.
Kelly LeBrock, yeah. That's what it was.
How does he trick these people? Like how?
No internet back then. No Google.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no Google.
That probably is all it comes down to.
The PG era, pre-Google.
Seriously.
BG.
I mean, like countries probably didn't have records like that, like communicated to each other as much. So I don't know.
So I feel like it's pretty obvious whether or not we consider this a worst of all time record, but do we?
Yes, absolutely. This is awful.
I don't think we've had like one we can all agree on is just irredeemable in a really long time.
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is without question for a couple of reasons. I mean, there were some competent tracks, but like, I just hate Steven Seagal at this point. So it's like, everything is ruined by him existing and being on these songs, and then on the good ones, and then the ones that are like more of his brainchild, if you will, are like downright reprehensible at points.
Yeah, if anything, the competency I feel like makes it all the more frustrating because without Steven Seagal's presence, this probably would be a comparatively better album. But now that Steven Seagal's here, he's just tainting it.
Like like just the fact that like what he got, Stevie Wonder on here and like, some of these other artists who are, probably perfectly respectable in their own right. Like that's actually reprehensible. That's actually shitty. That's shitty behavior. That's not just like making shitty music. That's like, I don't know, that like, it like deeply offended me to hear Stevie Wonder's harmonica solo.
It's wasting the time of it's wasting the time of perfectly good individuals.
Exactly.
Yeah, and probably, taking advantage of like, the fact that he could probably pay him shitty, but be like, well, I'm a celebrity, so my clout's what's going to pay off for everyone. And then,
or
but then like
not paying what they're actually worth, but
I'm
like,
paying
these artists
wisdom.
don't know better.
Yeah. Exposure bucks.
Do I need to go back? Do I need to go back to that point about the grass?
Do I need to remind you that I'll never die? There's nowhere you can go on this planet that I can't go.
Go on, try it for yourself. Choke me. I'm immune, and I learned nothing. Oh no! Oh, here comes the shit. Oh God!
Oh, here comes the poop works. Here comes the ice cream. Oh boy! Ooh. This was recorded in Canada.
Damn McDonald's.
Yeah, this was recorded in Canada. I just want to point that out.
I don't think this was ever released to the United States either.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw something about that it was never released in the U.S. And I guess at this point just assume that that's at the advice of attorneys.
I would say understandably so, because I feel like we would know that it's a fucking joke.
It was released by Warner Strategic Marketing, which is like a subset of Warner Music Group that specializes in compilation albums.
I thought that was interesting too. I saw that and I was like, they're not even going to give him the full Warner's label here. Like you're getting 812 7-Eleven subsidiary.
I'm sure it was a much cheaper, or just they were just like, are they like Steven Seagal was probably calling Warner Music Group every single fucking day, and they were just like, okay, you need to stop. Warner Strategic Marketing, you guys handle this.
Fuck.
Gonna pass it up to middle
Yeah.
management.
Put this in the Barnes and Noble end cap.
Please.
Like I said, it just makes more sense that they sold it with like all the other world, like, you know, Gypsy Caravan Volume 6. It's
Wow,
like,
do you really think we can get Barnes and Noble?
hey man, they've got some pretty big stages there after all.
I would have been fine with Caldor. Those still around, right?
Steven, no. For the last time. Caldor no
Steven.
longer exists. They closed like 20 years ago.
So, do we think that there's a best or least bad track? After everything we've said, it feels weird to give a best or least bad track at this point.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Should we just pull a Hanson and just skip straight to worst track?
I'll pick a best. Let's pick bests. Let's do
okay.
That. I'm going with Better Man because it sounded the least absurd and the most like a passable real song. And and like someone else, like I don't know, like Tom Petty or something on vocals, maybe could have been better. I don't know.
And from the point of view of just Steven Seagal's attachment to it, at least it's the song where he's apologizing for how shitty he is.
Yeah,
and he said, honestly,
is that
this
your
is
pick
the point
too,
where you
Mario?
guys are bail. Say that again.
Is that going to be your pick for best / least bad song too, Mario?
I would say it's a toss up between that for the reasons stated above, and then maybe Girl It's All Right, because that was like the most reined in that he was going to be on the album. Like when you look back at it now, it's like Britain before the war, like, oh, okay, the bombs haven't started falling on London yet. So it's almost like it's, with rose tinted glasses, I can look back on that song and be like, okay, maybe this won't be that bad after all.
I feel the same way about Girl It's All Right. So that's my pick for best / least bad track.
That's a good choice of words, by the way, Mario, because Steven Seagal likes to wear tinted glasses.
That's true.
Well, that's because, he doesn't want to betray his next move by letting us see it.
If I see the world in orange, I'm always on the ready.
I can see the strings.
By the way, these are safety glass in case I have to start shooting because I do carry weaponry.
Yeah.
Now for the really hard part. What do you think is the worst track, Pat?
Oh, God.
There are so many choices.
There's so many to choose from. Strut, honestly, just like blew my mind. Because it was a late player, kind of like 11th hour inclusion, like towards the end of the record. I was assuming that like all the bullshit was done at that point, but oh no, we are treated like the president truly awful.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you there about Strut, because not only is it gross and disgusting and pervy, but it so many tracks on here are representative of like Steven Seagal's completely idiotic, misplaced understanding of like, I'm being a worldly figure. I'm making a difference here by incorporating this world music and in the most stereotypical way possible. And on top of that, Strut is also disgusting. So yeah, that I feel like that qualifies as the worst for me. What do you think is the worst, Mario?
I mean, it's unanimous.
Yeah, Strut is a friggin' war crime.
Yeah, I mean, Jealousy's a very close second.
Oh yeah, Jealousy was friggin' rough as well.
Yeah,
Strut is on a pedestal of shittiness. It sucks because like I honestly love actual like reggae music, like real, not this. So like, it's hearing something like this and like how just it's like so it dumbfounds me, like I listen to it and I'm stunned into silence. Flabbergasted.
It's awful.
Right. Just never forget that all that is entirely Steven Seagal's fart. Entirely Steven Seagal's fault. Because He's basically what's taking it from reggae music to reggae music with something awful attached to it.
Like, because I love reggae, there's this whole thing where it's like you can't have like cliche white guy reggae. Like white guy reggae is one of those just unforgivable sins,
It's always bad. It's
I don't know how people are still okay with it.
I just don't understand it, and it's so as much as I love the music, it's like I'm not gonna have the fucking audacity to go out there and form a reggae band, so then where does Steven Seagal get off doing it? Like he's horrible.
Oh boy. But we finally got through it though.
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
Yes. And we're all wiser because of it.
Yep, we've ascended the seventh seal at this point. We've passed beyond the veil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all blades of grass now.
I was gonna say we have achieved this oneness. So we just become part of the great, like multi-organism that is Steven Seagal.
Yeah. We're all
another
mojo
prong.
We're all mojo priests now.
There's something so inherently hilarious about referring to Steven Seagal as a multi-organism.
Yeah. Multi-celled organism. Gotta change the Wikipedia. Multi-celled organism Steven Seagal.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Mario. This was
a hoot. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Again, I honestly feel apologetic more than anything else because there were so many other albums that probably would have been better to listen to musically. And I just, this is like falling straight off of the cliff, like there's not even like a branch that you can kind of grab onto and like cling. I got another 30 seconds to like, shit myself in self-defense, but no, this is just right off the cliff to the ground.
Oh man. Do you have anything you want to plug before we wrap things up?
The band Horse Hands, I must say. Nice. We are actually we're in this like stunted attempt to record an EP, and we keep trying to do it on these Boss multi-effect, or not multi-effect, but like multi-track mixing units, like these probably like early or late 1990s album thingies, and each one of them's died. So like we're on like the fourth. We have this pile of these things, but eventually we're going to record an EP successfully, and then it will come out.
Nice.
You want to plug something, Pat?
Yeah. Check out my solo project, Patrick S. Barry or Patrick Scott Barry. But no, search it as Patrick S. Barry. Got a couple albums. I re-released some stuff that I did back in 2013 kind of recently on a recording called 13. Which I've been, naming those solo albums after the year of release. And yeah, check out Smell too. I had a new album at one point. Now I don't, but it's up there. And that's it.
I'll just say go check out the other podcasts on the Zero Science Network, most of which are not happening anymore, apparently.
Omniac is on hiatus, unofficial hiatus.
Omniac's on hiatus. World of Commotion is on hiatus. Clamshell Case Files ended a while ago.
Oh, I didn't realize they ended too.
Yeah,
I haven't caught up with them in a while. Must watch movies. Actually, I'm going to be bringing back. Nate and I are going to be recording.
Oh, excellent
an episode next week. Yeah, we're bringing that back.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's the show.
I think CB mentioned he was gonna maybe look into doing a new podcast too. So there'll be content that doesn't just have us on it.
Yeah, but for now, we're the leaders. We're king of the hill.
Yeah, it's the fucking Jukebox Zeros, and to a lesser extent, Hell is a Musical game here.
Oh yeah,
not to a lesser extent. Sorry, Scott. Our theme song is Sunny Day by the band Froggy and the Friendship. You can check them out at froggyandthefriendship.bandcamp.com. If you have an album you want to suggest for us to review or just like to leave us some feedback or a comment, email us at jukeboxzerospodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/jukeboxzeros or on Twitter at twitter.com/jukeboxzeros. You can find us, rate us, review us, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, or check out the archives on the Zero Science main page. Jukebox Zeros is a production of the Zero Science Network. For more great podcasts, go check out zero-science.com. That about does it for this episode of Jukebox Zeros. I'm Lils.
And I'm Patrick.
And remember...
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, lollipop, lollipop.
Oh my God, I just remembered. Matt Kearney. That's the guy's name.
Good night.
Good night.
You're in training too.
Can I sleep on your couch?
Yeah.
God, no.
Science.